Hey guys, it's Saturday, July 18th, 2020. It's been a hot, humid day, but that's part of being here in South Carolina in July in the hot South. But so upcoming real soon, we have school, and of course, the decision's been made to open schools back up, and parents are going to have a choice whether to teach them virtually or teach them or send them to school or some alternative method. And I'm happy to see school opening back up, and I know a lot of folks aren't going to want to send their kids back, and that's okay. But we homeschool. One of ours goes to the public school up in Spartanburg, but the other ones are homeschooled and have been for quite a while. And I just want to encourage you that I know a lot of you struggling making a decision, but encourage you to pray. Obviously, pray a lot about it, but also give you some choices in how we feel about it, or at least how I feel about it. Number one, your children. They're our responsibility, not the schools. And I just want to keep that at the forefront of what I'm going to say, because me and my wife had to make a decision years ago that we didn't want the school raising our kids, because the schools would see them more than we practically would every day of the week. That we wanted to make sure Bible was first in their life, that God was first in their life, that the first subject every day was Bible. And more than anything, I don't know the hearts of the teachers and those that are administering the work and the correction and the just the thoughts that are being put into our kids' heads. But I know my wife's heart, and I knew that beyond anybody in this world, I could trust her, that they could learn from her, and if every single one of them turned out like her, I'd be completely happy. So that's the decision we made, was to let my wife handle it. And of course, we've been through several curriculums trying to figure out what's best for each child, because each child has their own set of needs. I'm sure all my kids will do fine in public school, and I'm not worried about socialization and the amount of knowledge they obtain in a public school or whatever. I'm just solely worried about what they're being fed, who's feeding them what. Well, subtly there can be things that are said or not said that could change the thought pattern of a child. They're very vulnerable, and there's no one else I'd rather have do it than my wife. So I just said that, and I'm gonna say it again. So if you're thinking about it, here's obviously about the Connections Academy, South Carolina Connect. They have a program where it's accredited. Kids can obviously use that curriculum. Now it is from a worldly standard. They do put a lot of emphasis on Pride Month and even Pride Summers. A lot of their links are attached to Pride Movement on their website. And there's other agendas too that they push. Of course, the BLM thing has been forefront here recently, and they're of course in support of that. And we are not in support of that. We don't feel it's a proper movement. If it could be a proper movement, but it's not being led by the right people. It's not being done for the right reasons. I understand the motive behind it, but the way they carry it out is not something we want to be part of. So with Connections, you just have to be careful about the worldly influence of the curriculum. One that we've used a lot is the Abeka program out of Pensacola Christian College, and it's basically $121 a month for my son or any of my children to be enrolled and do get all their core courses. And of course, my wife does help. She does Bible. She does all the phys ed, all that good stuff. But they teach the 4 or 5 courses that they need each year. So it's very affordable. Good online instruction, good communication with Christian teachers and tutors. And recently, when we haven't tried, Liberty University has a new curriculum out. It runs $52 per class per month. So it actually runs about $250 a month. And I don't know how much different it is or how much better it could be. We haven't tried it, but there's a couple online options. And I know a lot of you parents are now able to stay at home more. And I just encourage you to, if you can keep your kid at home and oversee them and correct them as they need it and help them as they need it, that I think you're going to be more of an encouragement in their life than anybody else could be, because you love them more than anybody else, or you should love them more than anybody else. My kids are far from perfect, and we correct them constantly every day, but I do feel that the guidance they're getting at home is going to be more beneficial to them in the long run than anybody else could give them. And obviously, when it comes to secular college time or college time period, I don't want them choosing a secular college, but if that's where they go, I hope they're grounded in their faith, because secular college is pretty tough. If they want to go to private Christian university, that's fine. I don't know if they can afford it, but we'll see. But I do want to read a couple of verses that are very popular. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he or she should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And this is a verse obviously geared to parents. It's our job to train our children. It's our job to correct our children. It's something that I was told a long time ago. It's not our job to entertain our children. Our job is to train them up in the way they should go. Sometimes we put entertainment at the forefront of everything, and we've scaled back on our entertainment around here recently, especially the last 6 months. But it's not my job to entertain my kids. It's my job to raise them up the way they should be raised, and discipline them the way they should be disciplined. And then, of course, 3 John 1:4 says, "I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth." And that's the ultimate goal, is that if you are capable and can do it, I encourage you to lead your children to that truth, so that they're not pulled by the way of the world. They'll get plenty of time in the world where they can help fortify their decisions and differentiate situations that need differentiating. But you don't, being part of a school doesn't give you social skills. I remember when I was in school, there was a lot of cliques, and I think it's probably still cliquish. Now you have the ability to reach more people, but I still think kids probably still corral in small groups and have a small set of friends. And my kids have plenty of friends. We never send them to school for the social. We send them to school for education. We pick and choose who they need to hang out with. That's my job as a parent, is to keep them away from badly worldly influences. So when they're responsible for those decisions, they'll be able to make them. But anyway, just want to be an encouragement to you today. If you're making that tough choice about your kids, hey, go for it. Give it a shot. You may say it's going to take too much of your time, may cut into work. So what? How long are they kids? You can make up work later on. Scale your hours back if you have to, or work different hours, or figure out some plan with your spouse or with an older kid. Maybe they can help watch over. But I'm all for it. Staying at home and keeping them busy, but keeping them in the Word. All right, guys, take care. Y'all have a good Saturday. Church tomorrow.